Stone Cold, Triple H and Vince McMahon seem intent on making Rikishi a part of their faction. Triple H remarked that this group will become the unholy trinity of professional wrestling. Austin, who's that damn cold, Triple H, who's that damn good, and Rikishi, who's that damn savage. The Undertaker, unhappy with the way the WWF Championship match concluded on Raw, challenged Rikishi to a match on SmackDown, to which Vince dutifully accepted on behalf of the Samoan Savage. With Kane taken out of the picture before his match by the Big Show, the Undertaker is left to fend for himself against Rikishi. Raw opens up with Vince McMahon, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H, accompanied by Stephanie McMahon. They talk about their master plan working in SmackDown. Rikishi's put the dead in Deadman when he destroyed The Undertaker, leaving the game in a rattlesnake to finish off the American Badass. Rikishi hasn't arrived at the arena yet, but as soon as he does, the Unholy Trinity shall become official. Undertaker and Kane interrupt proceedings. They walk to the ring as Austin and Triple H exit back up the ramp. The Brothers of Destruction want revenge for being the victims of ambushes last week. They want a WWF Tag Team title shot. Austin and Triple H converse with each other and decide, fine, but this is the last chance you'll get at any of our gold. If you lose tonight, it's over. No more title shots for any of you. As the group walk off, a graphic is shown indicating that Linda McMahon and Mick Foley will address the WWF audience later tonight when they arrive at WWF New York. As Vince, Stephanie, Triple H and Austin head backstage, Tess is at the side of the corridor and asks where their boy, Big Show, is, because he wants a match against him. Before Vince can say anything, all three members of X Factor approach Test. They think he should show the McMahon some respect, and if not, they'll beat it out of Test. Vince has a smile on his face, but nevertheless intervenes, so a six-man tag team match is made. Test is told by Vince to find two partners, and to be careful what he wishes for. Vince, Steph, Austin, Triple H and X Factor all laugh at Test. After their tag team match in SmackDown, and the ensuing backstage brawl that continued throughout the rest of the show, the first match of the night sees Rhino successfully retain the WWF Hardcore Championship against Raven and Haku in a triple threat match. Regal is back in his commissioner's office, still seething after being locked in a call room last week in SmackDown. Angle barges into the office screaming, "Regal! Regal!" Angle leans on the desk and gets right in Regal's face. "What the bloody hell's wrong with you, lad?" Regal retorts. Angle says he wanted to make sure that it's actually Regal he's talking to this time. Regal puts up his hand and says, "I understand, sunshine, I do." The Olympic gold medalist asks what he plans to do about Jericho and Benoit, to which Regal tells Angle that all will be in order. Jericho and Benoit will be in singles matches tonight, and if they can get through that, there might be a nice reward for them at the end of it. Angle, despondent with Regal's announcement, says, "That's worse than what Jericho did to me on SmackDown," and storms off. Regal screams for Kurt to come back, but he doesn't answer. Under his breath, Regal says, "Bloody pillock." Vince is in his office with Austin, Triple H, Deborah and Stephanie. Triple H says he's tried getting a hold of Rikishi, but there's been no answer. Vince is confident that Rikishi will be here tonight, but the goal is keeping the WWF Tag Team titles and eliminating the Brothers of Destruction for good. Test is sat in a storage box on the phone with someone. He says to the caller that he hopes he's getting better soon because he's very much needed. He ends the call when the Hardy Boys come by. They ask who he's speaking to. Test replies that all will be revealed in good time. But anyway, there's a 6-man tag team match tonight against X Factor and Test these two partners. Before they can answer, Edge and Christian interrupt and say they're not through with the Hardys and to go tell their bitch Eddie Guerrero to stay away from their business. Christian initiates a fight after slapping Test across the face before all three members of X Factor jump in to make it essentially a 5-on-3 brawl, leaving Test and the Hardy Boys down on the floor. Chris Jericho walks to the ring for his upcoming singles match, but against who? By God, JR asks. Regal is shown in a Titantron from his office and announces that Jericho's opponent is the one Billy Gunn. Regal does come down to ringside during Y2J and the one Billy Gunn's match, but there's no interference. Jericho gets the victory as Regal smiles, walking back up the ramp. JR announces that we're going to WWF New York, where Linda McMahon and Mick Foley are hanging out with the crowd. Mrs. Foley's baby boy acknowledges it's great to be right here in WWF New York. Linda makes an announcement regarding the WWF Tag Team title match in tonight's main event. She feels The Undertaker and Kane are at a disadvantage if Triple H and Stone Cold were to, say, use weapons or walk away. Therefore, in the interest of fairness, if Triple H and Stone Cold feel the need to get disqualified or counted out, then The Undertaker and Kane will not only win the match, but they will be the new WWF Tag Team Champions. Test is sat in a storage box on the phone with someone. He says to the caller that he hopes he's getting better soon because he's very much needed. He ends the call when the Hardy Boys come by. They ask who he's speaking to. Test replies that all will be revealed in good time. But anyway, there's a 6-man tag team match tonight against X Factor and Test these two partners. Before they can answer, Edge and Christian interrupt and say they're not through with the Hardys and to go tell their bitch Eddie Guerrero to stay away from their business. Christian initiates a fight after slapping Test across the face before all three members of X Factor jump in to make it essentially a 5-on-3 brawl, leaving Test and the Hardy Boys down on the floor. Chris Jericho walks to the ring for his upcoming singles match, but against who? By God, JR asks. Regal is shown in a Titantron from his office and announces that Jericho's opponent is the one Billy Gunn. Regal does come down to ringside during Y2J and the one Billy Gunn's match, but there's no interference. Jericho gets the victory as Regal smiles, walking back up the ramp. JR announces that we're going to WWF New York, where Linda McMahon and Mick Foley are hanging out with the crowd. Mrs. Foley's baby boy acknowledges it's great to be right here in WWF New York. Linda makes an announcement regarding the WWF Tag Team title match in tonight's main event. She feels The Undertaker and Kane are at a disadvantage if Triple H and Stone Cold were to, say, use weapons or walk away. Therefore, in the interest of fairness, if Triple H and Stone Cold feel the need to get disqualified or counted out, then The Undertaker and Kane will not only win the match, but they will be the new WWF Tag Team Champions. Right to Centre continue to argue with each other over their numerous defeats recently. When Bubba Ray and Devon laugh at their misfortune after they've got what they've always had coming to them, the bickering stops. The Dudley Boys walk on as all members of the Right to Centre look at each other, nod in agreement and lay out the Dudleys. RTC cheer as if they've just earned a victory in the ring. Chris Benoit comes to the ring for his upcoming singles match. Regal tells Benoit that his mystery opponent is the Big Boss Man. William Regal doesn't come down to the ring for this match, and as a result, Chris Benoit easily disposes of the Cobb County, Georgia native. However, after the match, Angle decides to jump Benoit, but he's quickly saved from Angle by Y2J. As Angle is halfway back up the ramp, Regal comes on a Titantron from his office and announces that Jericho and Benoit's reward for winning is the two of them will wrestle tonight in a tag team match. Jericho interrupts Regal's announcement by laughing, telling Regal to bring it on. Jericho's music plays as Regal is shown on a Tron, yelling and screaming at the camera, but the music drowns out the rest of Regal's announcement, making it unclear what he had to say. Backstage, Stone Cold Steve Austin is unhappy with Linda's announcement, annoyed with her involvement in tonight's main event. Vince says he can't prevent Linda's ruling, but tells Austin and Triple H not to worry, as he has a solution, and he'll tell the audience that very solution before the WWF Tag Team title match. Chyna and Lita are shown talking to each other backstage. Both have singles victories this past week, but before Chyna decides whether Lita is worthy of a women's title shot, Jacqueline interrupts and says she should be due a women's title shot, and that she'll prove it by beating Chyna in a one-on-one non-title match tonight. Test, still reeling from his attack by X Factor, Edge and Christian earlier, bumps into Eddie Guerrero in the corridor. Eddie wants in a tag team match later and thinks it should be an 8-man tag team match instead. Edge and Christian walk past, I'd say it would reek of Octo awesomeness to kick Eddie Guerrero's ass, as well as Test and the Hardy Boys. Right to Centre come to the ring and finally believe they're all on the same page again, so they challenge the Dudley Boys to an impromptu tag team match. Bull Buchanan and the Goodfather will wrestle on behalf of the Right to Centre. The impromptu tag team match is made. But it's not enough, as the Dudley Boys defeat the RTC and leave before Stephen or Val can attack them again. As the Dudley Boys celebrate up the ramp, the Right to Centre continue to argue, blame and finger point at each other. Edge and Christian say that now their 6-man tag team match has now become an 8-man tag team match after speaking with Commissioner Regal. One of them needs to be watching at ringside. Christian looks like he's going to volunteer to watch, but then points the finger at Albert and pokes his chest. I think you should be the one to watch at ringside. Albert steps forward menacingly as Edge and Christian back off. Whoa, 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 Edge and Christian exclaim. Nothing personal, but we need someone to keep an eye out for Eddie. He thinks we're the only one causing shenanigans. Just watch him, Albert, and see how much of a hypocritosaurus Eddie can be. X-Pac agrees to the idea, but warns Edge and Christian of any funny business, and they'll have to answer to them. The camera is shown to the exit doors in the arena. The doors open up, and it's Rikishi. Rikishi has arrived. In a chaotic 8-man tag team match, Matt Hardy looks like he might have the victory for the Hardy Boys, Eddie Guerrero and Test. Big Show's music hits, and a 7-foot, 500-pound monster comes down and attacks Test. Just Incredible is able to capitalise in the momentary distraction and pin Matt Hardy for the victory, as X Factor, Edge and Christian win. Vince is backstage with Austin, Triple H, Stephanie and Deborah. He makes them aware that Rikishi has arrived, and he has a good feeling with how tonight's going to go down. Triple H and Austin are in agreement. Rikishi will make the right decision before tonight is all said and done. Jacqueline cannot make good on her promise to defeat Chyna, as Chyna gains a victory in a non-title match. Lita watches backstage from the monitor. Jim Ross and Paul Heyman are talking about tonight's tag team title match, when The Undertaker interrupts. The Undertaker, with Kane standing by, looks into the camera and tells Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H that maybe they shouldn't concern themselves with Rikishi and what he might do tonight, but rather they should be concerned about their own well-being. Benoit and Jericho make their way to the ring. Their opponents for the tag team match are the Hollies. Heyman and JR are rather surprised it wasn't Regal, nor Kurt Angle. But before the match can begin, Regal and Angle stand at the top of the ramp. Regal says, before I was so rudely interrupted by that miserable Torag Jericho, what I was about to say earlier was, yes, your opponents later tonight are Crash and Hardcore Holly. And Kurt Angle, and yours truly. Yes, you see, this isn't a tag team match. It's a 2-on-4 handicap match. Now ring the bloody bell. He looks at the crowd and waves, thank you, thank you. Jericho and Benoit immediately go on the offensive against the Hollies as Regal and Angle run down to the ring. If the numbers game and the fatigue of Jericho and Benoit weren't factors enough, the ringside interruptions of Billy Gunn and Big Bossman certainly put this match beyond any doubt. The Hollies, Regal and Angle celebrate their victory with Bossman and Billy. As Rikishi's walking backstage, Michael Cole catches up to the Samoan Savage, and he asks Rikishi, "What are your intentions during the WWF Tag Team title match tonight?" Rikishi, cold stare at Michael Cole, says nothing, and walks away. It's now time for the main event. The WWF Tag Team titles are on the line as a two-man power trip of Stone Cold and Triple H defend the titles against the Brothers of Destruction. But before the match can begin, Vince is in the ring with Stephanie, Triple H and Stone Cold. He overrules Linda's earlier decision that, in the interests of fairness, Undertaker and Kane can't win the tag team titles as a result of count out or disqualification, because there isn't going to be any count out or disqualifications. That's right, this match is now no holds barred. In the main event, with the no DQ stipulation working in their favour, Austin and Triple H lay waste to Kane and Taker. Chair shots, sledgehammer attacks, and unnecessary interruptions on Vince's Stephanie put the two-man power trip in control. Rikishi's music then hits. He comes to the ring and he's handed a chair. Austin sets up Taker, only for Rikishi to attack Stone Cold, and then Triple H. Taker and Kane hit a double choke slam on Triple H to get the 1, 2, 3. The Brothers of Destruction are the new WWF Tag Team Champions. As The Undertaker and Kane celebrate as new WWF Tag Team Champions, Vince and Stephanie are perplexed at Rikishi's attack and angry. Austin has his head in his hands. Taker and Kane see Rikishi walking up the ramp. Rikishi looks towards the ring, initially emotionless, but then begins to smile with how events have unfolded. The Undertaker and Kane hold the WWF Tag Team titles high in the air with Limp Bizkit's Rolling playing in the background as Raw goes off the air. I don't know if I should be a little more forthcoming with how I'm approaching this save. On the one hand, I kind of want to tell a story first, rather than focus on whether the game score agrees with my decision making. I don't know if it's important to mention that I'm actually playing as myself, as the booker of the WWF, rather than play as myself as the owner, or as somebody else as the owner. This decision limits me to what I can and can't do in specific areas of the game, including, but not limited to, the product and signing talent, for example. This leads me on to those specific subjects. Because I'm only a booker, I can't always change the product. I mean, I'm not sure if I would anyways, but this current product in this particular mod is Classic Sports Entertainment, which is under the name of Attitude Entertainment. This means fans don't tend to go for risky matches, as I've found, and I can confirm this by that tag team title match main event. The road agent told me that, as I suggested the aim of the match should be hardcore, because of obviously the story that I've told, that this won't go down well with the fans, I was told. I mean, I still did it anyway, mind you. For anybody that was watching wrestling in this time period, pretty much almost anything, I think, yeah, it's safe to say anything went back then. WCW and ECW have now gone. Debatable as to whether this is the Attitude Era. Some will still call it the Attitude Era. I think the best term for me to describe it will be the post-Attitude Era. Certainly not the attitude that it once was. We're certainly not in the Ruthless Aggression Era yet. But regardless of that, we're still a long way away from PG. So the idea that a hardcore style main event would be considered inappropriate in 2001, I think if anyone was watching then would probably find that idea laughable. But at the same time, I'm up for the challenge. I'm willing to go with it and I enjoy it. I think I could always edit in the options, which I don't really want to do. As far as talent goes as well, I don't know if I should be more open with who I'm signing, who I have been able to sign, and who I haven't been able to sign as a result of choosing to be the booker rather than the owner. Again, don't mind the challenge, but I don't know if I should be held more or less accountable with my actions. If you wanted to know who I was signing, for instance, if I should be telling you this, or if I should be perhaps conveying this as a story by talking about using gossip as if I was some kind of podcast in this particular world. So the reason why I'm saying this is that, I mean, this save, it could go well, but it also has the potential to be as bad as the Alliance storyline. Personally, as I'm digressing here, as far as the Alliance goes, I was only watching wrestling for a couple of years at that point, so I didn't really know what went on behind the scenes and didn't really know much of the history. So I kind of enjoyed the Alliance, I have to confess. I should also mention as well that because I'm a booker, there's always the chance that I could be fired. But anyway, if you have any thoughts or comments, feel free to leave them. And again, thank you for watching.
Did you finish what you started?
My name is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Did you accomplish your goals?
It's your last
Did you fall short?
Repetition!
Time has come. The moment of truth is now.
You will step into the ring with the game!
Judgment Day is upon us. God have mercy on their souls.